So once again, I've got the pump on there. It's got a tyre pressure gauge built in. I'm going to turn the pump on with a press. If I don't press it long enough, it's not going to come on, so I'll give it a bit of a longer press. There we go. And you can see it was set for 32 on there because that was my car setting, but on here you can see, I think you can see, if I get the light glare off it. Oh, come on, try and get the camera in place. Okay, it's showing something that looks remotely like a scooter or something on there, but I think you can work your way through those. Let me try that dial on the bottom there, maybe that's for that. Yes, it is. So you can actually show up various things to pump up. Car, I'm taking that to be a scooter or motorbike or something. But anyway, now you can see it's reading 23 on this gauge. It was set for 29. Now I guess it stabilized itself because now it's reading 0 up here, and so it maybe take a settle for the, it probably takes a reading every minute or so, not instantly, so that's probably why that's not doing anything there. Okay, so this time again I'm going to take the pressure down. I'm using the minus, oh sorry again, I keep looking at the thing and not the camera screen. So I'm going to look at the minus screen, minus button there. I think it's highlighted enough you can see it, and I'm just going to press the speed down to 29. You can see it flashing up here now, and now I'm just going to start the button. The pressure's been set up again. So I've got the setting, it's up to 29 now, they both match, and I'm going to just pull off the lever up the back here and flick it up. I've got it in this position because it wants to come right through this gap here, and that's the easiest way to do it. You could probably put the valve on so it's facing up this way as well. Out this side it would be easier, but you just have to flick it up quickly, snap it up like that, and then just pull it off, and then get it out of the way. There it is, and then just screw the sensor on. So I'll screw it on just there. Little hiss. Do it up as tight as you can get it against the rubber, but try not to overstrain. You don't want to break the thing. And then if you can get the wrench behind it, you can move the nut right up against the back of the sensor and then turn this at the same time. I can't do it on camera because I need one hand to hold this and one hand to open the horrible little wrench, but anyway, that's how you do it, and it's the same on any of these pressure sensing tire pressure monitoring systems. You don't have to do it every day. That's the big advantage. It just once you get them on, you don't have to touch it for days, even months, unless there's a big pressure change, or obviously unless you've got a leak in your tire, or unless the sensor itself has come off or is coming off. Either any of those is going to make a change on the display, so you want to check the tire and get it sorted. Okay, that's that. So bye for now on that one. I'm going to go on off and do the other side now, on the front. I got so fed up with this cheap, nasty little wrench they provide you for removing the or tightening up the nut behind the tire pressure gauge sensors, that I went into my toolbox and found I'd got a 13mm spanner, wrench, whatever you want to call it, and I'm going to cut it off. I'm using a grinder, but what I'm going to do, I'll explain it first. I'm going to cut it off about here, which is probably about 2 inches, or about 50 millimeters, 5 centimeters, and then I'm going to open up the ends here so that I can actually get it off. So I'll take it off square here and here, and hopefully I'll leave enough. If that doesn't work, I'll use the other end, which is a flat, and I might try and heat it up and bend it to give it some crank onto it so that it fits in there, similar to something that like this has got. But I'll bend it so it fits. But one way or another, I'm going to make something that fits. So that's what I'm going to do. So you'll see me cut this off. Well, you won't see me because I've got to use the grinder and stuff. So I'm going to pause it for a moment. Okay, now I'm going to do the same to this end in case I have to use this piece. So I'm just going to get this into the vise. I'm trying to do it holding the camera at the same time. So I'm going to make it stick out a little bit. Let me just turn the camera off for a second while I set this up. Right, I've got it in the vise now. So now I've got two pieces of wrench, about 2 inches or so long, 50 millimeters, 5 centimeters, and I'm now going to try this one and see if it works. If this doesn't work, I'll try cutting the end out of the other piece on the floor here, cooling down, and there we are. I can pick it up now. So I've got one of those. I've got one of those with a crank in it, and I've got this other one. I'll do a little bit of filing. If necessary, I may have to heat this one up and bend it, and I've got all sorts of ways of doing that because I've got a small workshop here. But if you have to, you can probably just put it in the vise and clobber it. If you've got a gas plumbing torch, you could probably use that to get it red hot just about here somewhere, and have it in the vise or something, and then pull it with a piece of pipe or knock it with a big hammer. For a minute, I'll see if that works. Oh, that was simple and very effective. I just put it on there, put one hand on the wrench and the other on the sensor, and just turned them against each other in the right direction so they snug up now. Just going to double check that it's moving with the neck of the rubber valve there, so it looks like it's on nicely. So you can put a light on it so you can see what I'm looking at. To do this in the night, it's gone very dark here now. But anyway, you can see the sensors down there, number one. So it should be good. And now if we come up to the front, if I just tap this, I've noticed it comes on. So now it's reading 0, so I've just got to adjust it off and on again just to make sure it starts reading it. And again, I think there's a delay on it, so I might just have to wait. I'll just make sure it's tight on there. Feels like it is. I'll come up to the front and I'll just wait and see. There we are. I just had to loosen the sensor, screw it back on again, then put the lock nut up tight again, and that little wrench I cut down works perfectly, a lot easier than that terrible little thing that they send with it. Some people use a plastic clip over one. I noticed that the more expensive ones that Sling Mod sell have some sort of like plastic shape thing, and I'm going to go on some of the 3D printing forums and see if I can find, maybe somebody has already made a one that I can download the file and print off. So if I do, I'll make a video about that. But for now, just chopping a 13mm wrench down to about 2 inches or so seems to do the trick just great. So that's another little issue that's solved and made life a lot easier when you're struggling down on your hands and knees, especially if you're trying to do it one-handed. But got it on, got it working, everything's great.